Thank you for not moving away from us, God. Thank you for not treating us the way that we sometimes treat you. My God, you're such a big God. And you are so worthy to be praised in this place. Y'all got to understand, I just came out of a prayer conference. And Pastor, the thing about the prayer conference that I heard or that I realized today that I didn't even notice, and y'all may think I'm a little different for this, or maybe I'm just new to the party. I drove away from that place and I said, I'm proud of God. Yes. I can't remember the last time I said, I'm proud of God. He did that thing. He did that thing. He healed at that conference. He allowed us to walk up and down and take some stuff from the enemy. That there was some stuff that y'all don't understand. Some of these places that we stepped on today, the enemy has been allowed to operate unchallenged for decades. I'm proud of my God. I'm proud of my God. I feel like bragging about him a little bit today, but I don't know how much bragging I'm going to do today. Because God is still good. And he's still glory. And we give him glory. Welcome, Sunrise. Hello, everybody. It's good to see all y'all in this place. It is Social Media Saturday. Pull your phone out. Pull your phone out. Pull your phone out. Go ahead. Take it on out. Pull your phone out. And I need you to share on YouTube, share on Facebook, share on whatever it is that you got going on. Share this message. I want to, Mark, I don't know if you can see the numbers, but you tell me if the numbers start going up. Okay. Start sharing it. We need to get some unfamiliar people in here. Share this message. I'm ready for this message to go forth in this place because I got something that God has given us that everybody needs to hear on this evening. And so we need to share this message. It ain't no good for you to just sit here and enjoy your mama's cooking and brag about how good your mama's cooking is. And there's people out there that's hungry that need something to eat. You better share this message. Share it with your friends. Share it with your people. Share it with your bros. Share it with everybody that you know and that you care. On all the social media sites that we have, it is Social Media Saturday. Welcome to the Sunrise where joy does come in the morning. I am Pastor Keith. Glad to see all of you that are showing up. Now, I'm glad to see those of you that are showing up tomorrow or Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. It's still good to see you on Wednesday. I'm glad that you are watching this message at this particular time because it is going to bless you. We are here at our new location, 2909 West Washington. We have space. 2917 West Washington. We got space for you. Come on out. We're here every Saturday night at 6:30. What you got going on at 6:30? Probably not nothing. The club ain't open yet. The party ain't jumping yet. Ain't nobody started nothing yet. Ain't nothing really going on. The good college football game is already over. What do you have going on at 6:30 to where you're not in this place sitting on down here with us? We ain't going to keep you all day and all night. We don't want to be here for a little bit, just for a second or two. So come on down and see us at 2917 West Washington. We got space for you over here at Sunrise Christian Fellowship, where joy does come in the morning. As I said, I am Pastor Keith. I do have a message for you on this afternoon that God has given us. We are in the last month of our Jesus Saves. We're doing just Jesus over here. That's all we got all year long is just Jesus. And so we are doing, Jesus Heals is where we're finishing up on. Y'all forgive me. I'm looking at all the banners that we have all around. We're finishing up Jesus Heals on this particular month. And so I have something that God wants us to be able to pull out from the scriptures that he's given us. I'm going to read the scriptures on tonight. So I'm going to give y'all a little bit of break. I'm going to read the scriptures on tonight. We're going to go to Luke chapter 14, and we're going to read verses 1 through 6 in the New Living Translation. It's a story that we're going to read, and I'm going to read it for you because I'm going to be stopping and going and stopping and going. We're going to bounce all through the Gospels a little bit today, pulling out all the stuff that Jesus has done, all the healings that he's done throughout the Gospels and whatnot, because I want you to be able to understand what we're going to be talking about, because I need you to be able to follow suit of what it is our message is going to be on this evening. And our message for tonight is simply be a good patient. We're talking about Jesus heals. And so if Jesus is going to heal and Jesus is healing, then that means he's got to heal some people that ain't well. And when you're not well, you're a patient. And there's a thing about being a good patient, and there's a thing about being a bad patient. And so I talked to one of my friends who is a registered nurse, and she's on her way to being a nurse practitioner. Shout out to you, Michaela. And she gave me a list. I asked her, I said, well, what makes a good patient? And what makes a bad patient? And I took down the stuff that she said that makes a good patient. And I'd already gotten the message from God. And when I tell y'all, she gave me point for point of everything that makes a good patient that God has already given me out of the scripture about what we're talking about. So we're going to get this thing. It is in perfect alignment here. This is, what do they call, OSHA regulated. This is OSHA regulated and approved by a medical professional that this is actually good, sound doctrine. It was good because God gave it to us anyway. But we went into a medical professional and got that out of it too. So we're going to talk about being a good patient. So Luke chapter 14. Verse number 1, we have Jesus here, and it says, one Sabbath day, Jesus went to eat dinner in the home of a leader of the Pharisees, and the people were watching him closely. I need you to understand, Jesus is at this home of the Pharisees, right? He's not there as a welcome guest necessarily. Even though they invited him to dinner, they are still up to their same old tricks that they're trying to do. They're trying to find a way to trap him. They're trying to find a way to get him to say something that they can bring charges about. They're trying to get him ensnared. He is not in an environment where Jesus, the healer, is readily welcomed. I need y'all to understand. He's on enemy territory when this story is taking place. And everybody's got their eyes on him. They're trying to see what's getting ready to happen. Y'all ever been in that kind of space where you know two people don't get along and you just waiting for one of them to say the wrong thing to the other one so that something can pop up? That's the setting that we have going on here at this particular dinner. They're waiting for something to happen and they got their eyes on Jesus. Verse number 2, it says, there was a man there whose arms and legs were swollen. Jesus asked the Pharisees, the experts of the religious law, is it permitted in the law to heal people on the Sabbath day or not? When they refused to answer, Jesus touched the sick man and healed him and then sent him away. You have this scenario, this situation, there's a dinner going on here, and everybody is watching Christ. And Christ knows everybody's watching him. He's aware of what everybody's doing. He knows that these people are not for him. And in that moment, he sees somebody that needs healing. He sees a patient in the midst of this dinner that is going on, right? And this patient that is there has arms that are swollen and legs that are swollen. Y'all remember the last message I gave you about urgent care. This is not an emergency. Having swollen arms and swollen legs. Somebody in here probably got some swollen arms and swollen legs and swollen fingers right now. It's not an it's not an emergency, but it is something that's urgent that you need to take and you need to get looked at. And Jesus sees this man in the midst of everything that's going on, and he goes over to this man and he heals him. And what I want you guys to catch in this is that Jesus he has a tendency to expose your affliction right before he heals it. This man is not talking to anybody. He didn't ask Jesus to come save him. He didn't ask Jesus to show up and do anything. He didn't raise his hand and say, Jesus, I got a problem. Can you come see me? And Christ tends to do this. Now, understand he does both. In other situations, there's people that's running, bringing folks all over the place that's blind and deaf and dumb and need help and got demon possessed, and they dragging them, and Jesus is trying to hide. Y'all know Jesus was the healer that is. Jesus tried to hide sometimes. Like, let's get on the boat and go over here. They following over there as if they had cell phones. He's getting ready to land on the shore. Y'all get over there, hurry up, and bring Martha over there, and bring Susie over there. There was people that was chasing after Jesus to get healing, right? But every so often, Christ had the ability and the tendency to see somebody that needed healing who wasn't talking about their issue just yet, but he has a tendency to just go ahead and expose your affliction before he heals it. And so that's what he does with this man. He exposes what's going on. Yes. Why is this important? Because some of you have things that are going on in your body, and you have things that are going on in your relationships, and you have things that are going on in your life, and you are not talking about them. You don't want nobody to know what anything. You are downplaying what it is that you're going through. This man has swollen legs and swollen arms, and yet he's at dinner with everybody else acting like everything is all right. You come to church like everything is all right. You go to your job like everything is all right. You talk to your family like everything is all right. Everybody asks you, how are you doing? You already have your reply. I'm doing good. I'm great. I'm cool. I'm chilling. Everything's fine. You have all these things. And the problem is that if you're going to be a good patient, you have to admit that you're not well.
Yeah, that's good.
You have to be able to admit that you are not well, because Jesus, the healer, has the tendency that he's going to expose your affliction right before he heals it. So the question then becomes, Dana, why are you hiding your afflictions? Why are you hiding what you're going through? Because they're not good reasons. You think that you're hiding them for good reasons. You think that you're soldiering up. You think that you're just handling your business. You think that you're just keeping your stuff to yourself. But the truth of the matter is, you got an issue with pride. You don't want people to see you in no kind of effort that you got going on. You don't want nobody to look at you a certain kind of way. And I'm talking to myself. I don't want nobody coming up to me and saying, "Oh, baby, you sick? Oh, baby. Oh, come here. You want to make me angry? Come over here when I'm not feeling, oh, baby, look at you. You might as well not even show up. Don't even come over to where I am, because I don't like looking vulnerable. I don't like looking weak. I don't want nobody to baby me. I like standing tall, and I like being strong, and I like being able to help people, and I like to be looking like I got everything all together. I like having all my ducks in a row. I like people being able to say, man, you just seem like it's pride that you have going on. It's vanity that you have going on. You don't want nobody to see you looking like what you really are and what you really are going through. If you're going to be a good patient, you got to first admit the fact that you're unwell. I'm not well. Another reason you don't want to admit your afflictions is you don't want people in your business. But I need y'all to catch what happened. Let me go back to it. It says they was at dinner, and the man had his legs, and he was swollen, but everybody's watching Jesus. Nobody's paying attention to the man. Then Jesus goes over to the man, and he heals the man of what he had going on. So he exposed his issue and everything that he had going on, and he was at dinner amongst all these people, and he had all this. So now everybody knows his business. But what I need you to catch is that people being in your business does not stop your healing. If your healing does not get canceled just because somebody knows that you're not well. Just people being in your business, all these looky-loos and all these people talking and gossiping about what you got going on, that don't stop your healing. That don't stop God from healing you. When Jairus' daughter died, all those people was around there getting ready to have a funeral that's getting ready to go on. All these people are looking at the crazy man in the tomb. Everybody knew that man's business. The whole town talking about how crazy that man was and everything. They all ain't these people gossiping about all that he had going on. And do you know that didn't stop Jesus, the healer, from healing? People knowing your mess ain't got nothing to do with your healing. Absolutely nothing. And those that want to gossip, let me free y'all up from this. Y'all know they're going to move on to something else in 2 weeks. They're going to move on to something else in 2 weeks. Your issue of what they was gossiping about, people that like to gossip. They got to find the fresh gossip. You old news in 2 weeks. So what does it matter about people knowing your business? But what you're doing is you're lumping everybody all together, and you're saying, I don't want people in your business. Guess who else is people? The saints of God are also people. And so now you don't have them in your business. The people that can pray for you, that will walk alongside with you, the people that will fight for you while you got something going on. You need some folks on your team. And in order to get people on your team, when you got something going on, you have to be able to admit that you're unwell. You need some Jairuses on your team. That's who I want on my team. His daughter was dead. Can y'all imagine? You in the hospital, and you done flatline, and the doctor come in there, and he says, I'm so sorry. Your loved one has passed. And one of your loved ones say, hold on, doctor, before y'all call the mortuary, before y'all call in the people, before y'all will them up out of here, let me go talk to Jesus real quick. Let me make sure that this is final. Let me make sure that God don't have nothing else to say about this. Let me make sure that God don't want to do something else. I know y'all already checked their vitals. I know you already said that they're going. I know you already started the paperwork. I already know you're calling all the people and telling them that they passed. I need somebody on my team that's going to advocate for me when I'm not well. And even when the doctors or the medical professionals, other people say, I know you got cancer. I know that the marriage is about to end. I know that they say you got depression. I know that they say that you can't get this thing fixed. I know they say that this thing is hereditary. His daughter was dead. And he went and advocated on her behalf. Understand that you have to be able to admit that you are unwell. The scripture says for you to bring the sick to the elders.
That's what it says.
How we know? How are we supposed to pray for you if you're going to put us in the box with all the gossipers?
Right.
If you're going to put us in the box with all the people that's just in your business, how can the elders pray for you and get your healing? Because you're suffering in silence. And that is not being a good patient.
Yes, God.
I need you to understand suffering in silence, not telling everybody. You know how when you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you, what's going on, and you tell them the main thing, but you're embarrassed. You don't want to tell them the little things or the embarrassing things. Well, sometimes I do have a headache. Sometimes this thing does hurt a little bit. I do have this going on over here, but it's okay. And you try to downplay what's going on. Jesus is concerned. He knows every single hair that's on your head. You think he doesn't care about your little afflictions that you have going on, the stuff that you don't want to admit and what is going on. I need you to understand that you are playing a dangerous game. Do not downplay this part of the message about admitting that you're unwell, because the enemy will make you embarrassed and ashamed to admit that you need help. He'll make it to where you won't even ask for the help for the stuff that you need. He'll downplay these little things that you have going on, these little situations that you're going on. He'll make it small. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the same way you say, yeah. I know the garage needs to be clean. I'm getting to it. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to make it happen. It's a little thing I need. I know we need to do this up under the sink. It's a little thing. I need to get to it. I understand what's going on. You need to be able to admit that you may not be well. You are messing with things that are making you unwell, and you are afraid to admit that this is what let me paint the picture for you. Let me help you to understand. You're doing little things, and you think that they're not that big of a deal, and that you're going to fix them, right? You're flirting with the person at work. That's your work husband, and that's your work wife right now. But that's somebody's real husband, and that's somebody's real wife. And you are starting to have conversations. It's just a little bit of flirting that's going on. No, it's not, because when they don't come to work, you upset. Your whole day off, and you take your breaks the same time they take their break. You going over where they going over. It's a small thing that the enemy is going to make a big thing. Don't y'all know little afflictions turn into big things? Right. It's a little thing until it ain't. It's a small problem until it ain't. It's something itty bitty until it ain't. God is trying to get you to understand you got to admit that you may not be well.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just a little bit of pornography. Just a little bit. It's just a little sneaky link. Once or twice a year. Just a little bit. It's just a little bit of depression. Just a little bit. It's not. I just get depressed every so often around this time. It's just a little bit. It's just a small headache. I just got a little pain in my ankle. You have to admit, to be a good patient, that you are not well.
Not well.
You have to be able to admit you're not well. The second thing to be a good patient is you got to actually get yourself to the healer. Actually get yourself to the healer. What I love about Christ in this story was that he came to the man, right? Don't get it understood. Jesus will come after you. He'll come get you. All throughout the Bible, he showed up in places and did unsolicited healing for folks, right? But what I love is when I went looking for the healer and when I went studying about Jesus was how many times people was rushing to get to him, fighting to get to him. There was one time where they were just begging him, can we just touch your garment? Please, can we just hold on? Can we just touch your clothes a little bit? Please, please. And he just stood there and let them touch his clothes because he knew that they need healing. There was all these times where he talked about how he healed the whole region and how he healed this person after that person after that person. People bringing people in on mats, dragging folks from all over the place, bringing them in and saying, he can't see. And so I guided him all the way here. He can't hear. So I got him all the way over here. You got to get yourself to the healer. To be a good patient advocates for themselves. A good patient advocates for themselves. Do you feel better? No, I don't. Did the medicine work? No, it didn't. Is this still hurting? Yes, it is. A good patient advocates for themselves. A good patient will go to a doctor 1 or 2 times and feel like that doctor ain't no good and will find a new provider and go after it. I need you guys to fight for your healing in these relationships and your situations and your mental health and everything that you have going on with your family and everything that needs to be fixed and needs to be healed. I need you to fight for it and advocate for it. You know how I need you to fight? I need you to fight like your Wi-Fi went out.
Oh, damn.
Okay, y'all might act like y'all don't. Okay.
No, I got you, kids.
You're at home. You're sitting on the couch, and the Wi-Fi goes out. and now you can't get on it, right? And here's the plan. Well, Wi-Fi goes out. You look at your phone. What's going on with my phone? You turn the Wi-Fi off. You turn it back on. Still not working. You turn the phone off. Turn the phone back on. Still not working. You ask somebody else in the house, your Wi-Fi working? Is your phone working? You're trying to figure it. I just want you now. You can plug it up into the laptop. Now you're trying to do a factory reset. You on YouTube on your TV, trying to figure out what's going on. You can become a whole IT professional. You over there behind the couch trying to reset the router, and then you go factory reset that one. Now you're online, on your computer. You're looking at Best Buy. Do I need a new router? How much does this new router cost? And now some of y'all become something like me. You will have to get the router out of the wall. You inside the walls of your house trying to get to the router because your Wi-Fi won't work. You're in there, you're on the phone with communication, a podcast for 53 minutes listening to that stupid whole music over and over again. But when you don't feel well, you can't sit down for 53 minutes and pray with God to see if he can actually show up and actually heal your situation. It doesn't make any sense to me that you will fight harder for Wi-Fi than you would for your own personal healing or what you have going on in your life.
All right.
On the phone talking to some man named Jacob. And you know that man's name is Rajesh. You can hear it in his tone. You can hear it in his accent. You know that man's name not Jacob. You know that he's not from this country. He's telling you that he's in Ohio. And you know as well as I do he's in New Delhi. And that's where he's doing customer care from. You are willing to talk to somebody all the way over in a whole other country about your Wi-Fi. But if I told you, I know somebody in Missouri, here's their number, they have the gift of healing, you need to call them, you would say, I don't know that person. I'm not about to call that person. I don't know them. I don't know them. I'm not calling them. I'm not calling that person. I don't want to be out there like that. Look, I got me calling random folks, but yet you're going to give Rajesh over there in New Delhi access to stuff in your house, and now he's resetting stuff over the internet. He's got access to your financial stuff. You're giving him everything you need. He's inside of your house from a whole other country, and you won't do the same thing for your healing. Fight for your healing the same way you do your Wi-Fi.
All right. That's good, Pastor. Oh, have mercy.
A good patient advocates for themselves. The woman with the issue of blood lost all her money and then heard Jesus was in town and got up and went looking for him. There was a Gentile woman that needed healing for her daughter that was demon possessed. Do you know this woman allowed Jesus to ignore her? This woman allowed Jesus to call her a dog. She didn't care none about that, nothing about that. She was going to get this healing for her daughter, and she kept fighting for it. I need you guys to get to the healer. Advocate for yourself until God does something. God, I'm not moving until you hear me, until you see me. Stop treating it the same way that we do sometimes when you go to the ER. You look around, there's too many people in here. I'll be all right. I'm going to just go home and lay it on down. You need to stay in the place of prayer until God hears you.
That's good.
Next thing you need to do to be a good patient, you got to learn how to suffer well.
All right.
This is the hard one.
Yeah.
I'll warn you ahead of time. This is the hard one.
Yeah.
This is the hard one. How do you suffer well? You have to learn how to suffer well. What I love about Christ the healer is so many times throughout the Bible, he showed up instantaneous healing. He gave people healing immediately. He laid hands on them and they were able to be healed. He spit in their eye and they could see. He spit on somebody's tongue and they was able to speak. He spit on some dirt, put it on their eyes, they was able to see. He touched people. He fixed people. He told stuff to go and it had to come right up out of them. People got instantaneous healing, and I need you to understand that Jesus is still doing that. People are getting healed right now. We saw somebody last night who did not have the ability to hear get healing instantaneously right then and there. Wow. But there's a lesson that you need to learn had you been there last night, because one person got instantaneous healing and somebody came right behind them with the same exact thing and did not get the same exact healing. Although throughout the scriptures over and over again, we see Jesus, the healer, instantaneously heal people. But let me go ahead and let some of you know, sometimes the healing process involves waiting.
Yeah.
And more than likely, waiting is going to be a part of your healing. And how you wait matters.
Yes.
We went to the doctor this week. Amber's having some issues, and she's been having them for several weeks. And so we go to the doctor, and we're in there, and the doctor comes in, he's looking at her scans, he's looking at her test results, and he's looking at he's going, okay, all right. And he says, okay, so we're going to get you over here to see this doctor. We're going to get you over here to see this doctor. We're going to get you over here to see this doctor. You know, they passing us around so they can get, you know, a copay here, a copay here, a copay here. Y'all know how they do it. You got to go to this one, and then this one, and this one, and then we get. So he's telling us all this other stuff. But then he starts saying, but listen to me. He takes a moment and he looks at us. He's like, I don't want you to worry about this. I don't want you to worry about this. And I don't want you to worry about this. And I need you to hear what I'm saying to you, because I need you to have peace of mind when you walk out of here. I need you to have peace of mind, and I need you to have some positive attitude about what we're saying is going on. He said, because there is no medication that is better than peace of mind and a positive attitude. He said, there isn't anything we can give you that's going to affect your body any better than having a positive attitude and having peace of mind. And now here we are, days later. We ain't went to no doctor yet. We ain't got no more scans. They ain't done nothing to her. She still has the same afflictions in her body, but she's had a better week now since she went to the doctor. And all he was able to give her was peace of mind, and for her to have a positive attitude while she's going through her suffering, because there is a way to suffer well and there's a way to suffer unwell. If you are somebody that is not able to suffer well, when God does not show up immediately like you want him to, now we can't do anything with you. Now you won't pray. Now you're upset with him. Now you're frustrated. If the man that we saw at the conference was not able to suffer well after seeing somebody get healed, complete healing, and his wasn't there, now the enemy can turn that into jealousy. Now the enemy can turn that into bitterness. Now the enemy can turn that into something that can be perverted and turned around. Now he won't pray. Now he won't talk to God. Now he don't believe. Now disbelief is in his body. Now you jealous of other people that's getting help and getting healed. You can't pray for nobody. You can't do anything. What good are you now?
Wow.
Is God not good just because you suffer? Is God still good when you're suffering? Because you got to understand, let me go ahead and tell you, waiting is probably going to be a part of your process to get your healing, because he also has to teach you contentment.
Yes.
How to be well in and out of season. How to be the same, no matter if it's good or bad. If you broke or you got money. If you with somebody or you by yourself. If you're hungry, if you're not hungry. Some of y'all are different people just when you're hungry. You're not the same person just when you're hungry. We can't even talk to you just because you're hungry. We can't even speak to you just because you're hungry. You offended and might cuss me out just because you're hungry. God is trying to teach you some contentment of how to be the same person in season and out of season. He did the same thing with Paul. Paul talks about this thorn he had in his side. It never got taken away from him. And so he had to learn how to be the same Paul, whether if he felt good or he didn't feel good, whether if he was healed or not. Y'all know a lot of most of the epistles that he wrote and that we follow and that we use as the gospel and that we follow about all that, he was in jail, locked up, writing to other people about their problems. I'm locked up, and I'm writing to you about your problems, trying to help you with your problems. I saw this thing this week that really touched me. Damon Wayans is an actor, and he was doing an interview, and the lady was saying, yeah, you know, we heard that you had a club foot. And he says, I have a club foot. It's a life sentence. It doesn't change. I have a club foot. And she was like, well, I thought you got the operations. He said, I got tons of operations. It don't change having a club foot. He was like, what it feels like is I got a toothache in my foot all the time. My foot hurts all the time. This man has made movies. He's a multi-billionaire. He lives in the highest 1% of all people probably on this planet and how much he makes. And yet and still, he has pain in his foot that is not taken away from him. God does not hide this part of our journey that you're going to probably have to suffer at some point. So the lady says, well, that is crazy. What has that taught you? He said, it's taught me how to be able to accept things. Yeah. I'm able to accept things that are good, and I'm able to be all right with things that are not bad, that aren't good. Yeah. God teaches us contentment, but you have to learn how to suffer well if you're going to be a good patient. My friend that was the nurse, she was saying how much this matters when they're administering all this stuff, for them to be patient with the doctor and be patient with the process and be patient with the medication and to have a positive attitude. She said you cannot let the diagnosis become your identity and take over what you got going on. The fact that you don't have any money can't be your identity and what you got going on. The fact that you're lonely can't be your identity and everything that you have going on. The fact that you and your mama is still not on good terms can't be your identity. There are men walking around and their whole identity is that I'm a man who didn't have a father. That cannot be the thing that you identify. Your affliction and your issue and what you need Jesus to heal cannot be your entire identity. You got to learn how to suffer well.
Yes.
Have a positive attitude as you're going through the things that you're going through. If you notice in a lot of the places where Jesus was healing, these people were still in the church. The man with the withered hand was in the church. The woman that had a demon that had her all bent over and had her messed up, she was in the church.
Yeah.
Even the man in our scripture, he's around his friends, who, Pharisees that he thought could help him. They're still serving. They're still living their life. They're learning. They know how to suffer well.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to learn that. And the last one, to be a good patient, is you have to learn how to protect the healing that he gives you.
Yes.
Let's go back to our story. In our story, Jesus just healed this man and he sent him away. Now, when he sent him away, that caught me because he's done this a couple of times. He'll heal somebody and he'll send them away. He'll heal somebody and say, hey, don't go back the way that you just came. Go a different way. He'll heal somebody and say, don't say nothing to nobody. He'll heal somebody and he'll tell them, now go ahead, pick up your mat and go up on out of here. He'll tell them to go away. And I'm like, gee, God, why do you send these people away after you healed them? Shouldn't they praise you? Because that's what I'm thinking in my mind. That's messed up. He just healed you. You didn't praise him. You didn't give him glory. You didn't thank him. He sends them away. And I'm trying to figure out, God, why did he send them away? But I need y'all to catch this. So it says he sends them away. Verse number 5. It says, then he turned to them, this is the Pharisees, and he said, which of you doesn't work on the Sabbath? If your son or your cow falls into a pit, don't you rush to get him out? Again, they could not answer him. This is what I want y'all to catch. It says then in verse number 7, when Jesus noticed that all that who had come to the dinner were trying to sit in seats that gave them honor near the table, he gave them this advice. I just performed a miracle in front of all of them. And none of you acknowledged the miracle. None of you asked if I could do the same for you. You're concerned about where you're going to sit so that people can see you? You're concerned about honor? You're concerned about prestige? You're concerned about what people are going to think of where you sit and how you look to other folks? Do y'all understand how toxic of an environment this man was actually in? He's sick. He's at the dinner with these people. Jesus heals him and performs a miracle, and they don't even blink. They're worried about where I'm going to sit and how do I look? Is my hair looking good? Is my makeup all right? You know what I'm saying? Is so-and-so going to be able to see me? He had to get this man out of this nasty, toxic environment that he was in. And this is what happens to us. So many times we come into this place, we come into church, you come into a place where you need healing. And if you want to know where you're coming from is a toxic environment or not, let me ask you this. How come the people that you just left are in here with you? How come you won't invite them in here with you? If you want to assess if you're in a bad environment like this man is, think about, will I bring them in here? Will they come in here with me? Will they be one of those that will come in here with me? If the answer is no, then you're in a toxic environment. But you come in here and you just sit down and you hear the word and God moves on your heart and you come up and you get to the altar and we pray for you and tears fall down and you get everything out and you get broken from everything that was holding you back and the Holy Spirit comes in and fills you up and you feel better and you're ready for everything to be good and you know the things have changed in your life, and then you get out of here and you go home and you get back in the bed in that same nasty bed with that same nasty person that's got you toxic. You get right back in the same DMs that you was in just a second ago. You get right back on the same comment section that got you sick before. You take the laptop up, you flip it open, and you log back onto what it was you was doing before. You go back into that same room where you always know you're going to feel depressed. You get out of here, get in your car, and you go get in the same line from the doctor. Then she goes right back in the kitchen, and she's in there cooking the same stuff that made her sick to begin with. Wow. And the only reason why they even noticed it is she didn't burn her arm, and she don't even feel it. And she's fighting to stay in that toxic environment. They like, Mama, your arm, let's wrap it up. No, baby, give me some butter. Give me some butter. I can fix it with some butter in my turpentine. You trying to fix what made you sick in the same environment that you in? When you go to the doctor, you get a cut. When Ada gets a cut, we look at it, we clean it, we put the medicine on it, and we put what? A Band-Aid to protect the healing that we just gave you. When you go to the doctor, you have a cut, and you need stitches. They go to the wound, they clean it, they put the healing on top of it, they stitch you up, and then they put gauze around it. Why? To protect the healing that we just gave you. If you break your arm or your leg or anything else, they come in there, they fix what was crooked, they fix what was broken, they fix what wasn't right, they set it back straight, they put it back on the right path, and then they turn around and do what? They put a cast on it. Why? To keep you straight so that you don't mess up the healing that we just did. Because if you don't do that, you're going to mess it up all over again, and we're going to have to do this thing next week like we did the week before, because we keep going back to the same stuff over and over again, thinking that we can take this healing that he just gave us and put it back in this nasty environment like we're not going to be infected. You have to protect the healing. That's why he told this man to get up out of here. These people are not good for you. Some of these people are not good for you. And for some of y'all, this is going to be a little difficult. But stay with me. For some of us, you don't need an operation for your healing. You don't need a medication for your healing. You don't need to go to therapy for your healing. For some of y'all, you don't even need the altar call to get your healing. For some of you, you need an entire lifestyle change.
Yeah, that's it.
You need a lifestyle change.
That's it.
There's times you go to the doctor and the doctor say, listen, we can do this, this, and this, but if you don't change your lifestyle, if you don't change what you're doing, if you don't change how you eating, if you don't change how you living, if you don't change what you got yourself going on day to day, ain't really nothing too much you can do with it. Every once in a while, me and Amber watch that 600-pound life, and I love that little doctor on there because he'll tell them to the truth. I'm not doing this operation with you if you can't show me that you're doing something different with your lifestyle. There's people that win the mega bus and become millionaires, and they're broke within 3-4 years. Why? Because they ain't changed none of their lifestyle habits. And so some of y'all, all of this stuff, the operation, the medication, even the altar call therapy is not what you need. You need an entire lifestyle change.
That's it. That's it.
Pastor talked last week, and one of the things that popped into my head was that we believe in the healing. But we don't believe in the Bible from cover to cover and how he tells us how to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right? We don't believe in staying healthy. We believe in getting healed. We treat ourselves, our spiritual selves, and our real selves like football players. Football players understand what I'm doing is going to probably get me hurt. But it's okay because I got pads on, and I got a doctor, and we got medicine, and if I get hurt, it's okay. But I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to put my body on the line, doing stuff that I know is probably going to hurt me anyway, but I know I can just get over. That's how we treat this place. That's how we treat Jesus the healer. I can keep messing up and keep doing the same thing because I know Jesus heals, and he does. But you can't stay healthy because you won't do the stuff that's necessary for a whole lifestyle change. You won't pick up the book and you won't read it. You won't go to the book of Proverbs and read it from top to bottom. It's a manual of how to live your life and actually do it. You won't pray to actually get some healing. You need to get your flesh under submission, and then you need to start treating your body like the temple that it is that God called it to be. Then you need to fast to keep your flesh under submission. Let me say that. You get your flesh under submission, then you have to fast to keep your flesh under submission. I'm telling you what I know to be true. I get my flesh under submission, and then when I find that it's back out of submission, I realize I probably need to go on a fast to get it back under submission from the first time. Then it's able to break your addictions. You're able to pray to God, your therapist, y'all a template or a cheat code. Go outside, literally, and go walking. And talk out loud to God. He becomes your therapist. I promise you, he becomes your therapist. He becomes your absolute therapist. He tells you everything that you need to go on. You may look crazy, it don't matter. Go outside and start asking God about what's going on. I walk around and I ask God from the jump, God, what is wrong with me? Why am I like this? Why do I do the things that I do or won't do the stuff that I know that I'm supposed to do? And I talk out loud and I don't care who people will see me. Everyone knows I have a podcast and I'm the only person that's there. Nobody is invited. It's not recorded. There's nowhere online. There's no link to it. I'm in the car and I'm talking to God out loud. I ain't got so phone time. I'll be in the store talking to people, talking to God out loud. And people be looking like, is he on the phone or is he not on the phone? I do not care. I'm getting therapy from the therapist that I need to hear from that understands everything that's going on with me. It helps you to be obedient when you get a new lifestyle change. Start eating better. Stop being so slothful. And people of God, please hear this last one. Some of you, for your healing, you need rest.
Yes, Lord.
R-E-S-T. You need rest. Some of y'all need to lay down. You need some sleep. You need some rest without excuses. Not that I have to do this and I have to do that and I can't get 4 and 8 hours of sleep because of this, that, and the third. I'm trying to prevent you from God making you lay your before he has to lay you down in a hospital bed because and then everything is, ain't that crazy that the doctor can tell you you can't go to work, but when God tells you to take a couple days off so that he can heal you and you need some rest, you have a laundry list of things that you cannot stop doing, but the doctor in the hospital will tell you you got to call in and now you calling in to work and you got to find a babysitter and you find space. And I wish I had time to talk more about how we try to fit God into our schedule rather than working our schedule around God. You need some rest. You need to make it a priority. Go to sleep, Elijah. Go to sleep. Elijah had just defeated Jezebel and all of her prophets and called down rain after a drought, and he had killed all these people and all this stuff. He had won a great victory for God that we all know about and talk about. And a couple of days later, he's underneath a tree asking God to kill him. He's suicidal. And all God does is say, boy, eat and go to bed. He gives him some food and tells him to go to bed. And he gets up. And he's like, Lord, kill me. I need you to take me. I don't want this life anymore. Boy, eat and go to bed again. Some of you just need to go to sleep. You need rest. If you can't lay down because your brain won't shut off, and it's just going and 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 going, and you're thinking about all these different things that you can't stop doing, you need some uninterrupted rest. Because you're having a problem, and that's going to lead you to a mental breakdown. And Jesus is trying to tell you, go to bed. Some of y'all are mean and grouchy and ornery because you are tired.
Sure, you're right.
It reminds me of the Jackson movie when Joe Jackson found the towels in the pool, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And he getting ready to go wake up Marlon and Michael to whoop them. And Catherine Jackson had to say, Joe, it is 2 o'clock in the morning. Go to bed, Joseph. Go to bed. That's what God is telling some of y'all. You are so mean and angry and got a problem and irritated. And people are bothering you and this is getting on your nerves. And that's getting on your nerves. And you can't stand this. And you can't do that. And you don't have time for this. And I don't have space for that. You are tired and you need to go to bed. And so tonight, God has come for some of you who believe. Tonight, God is looking for some of you that need to admit that you're not well. Tonight, God is coming so that you don't have to search down the healer that is Jesus. Tonight, God needs to talk to some of you that don't know how to suffer well. All you see is your problem. All you see is your issue. You cannot pray. You cannot give God any glory. God is not good to you anymore. He's not all this other stuff. You have a side eye when people say all the things about the glory of God. Why? Because he ain't fixed your problem yet. He hasn't done anything that you need him to do per se yet. And God is coming for you on tonight. And those of you that keep getting up and saying, I need help getting out of these toxic environments, because I do come in here and I do get healing. I need y'all to understand what the saints of God go through. There are times that we have meetings and we sit here and rack our brains and we're on the phone for 3-4 hours and we're asking and we're praying and we're trying to figure out, God, what is going on? We are interceding for this person. We're asking for healing for this person. We thought that we saw you move on this person, and here they are 2 weeks later and they're back messed up all over again. And God is saying, I did move. You did go through. We did heal them. They did come unchained. And what they did was they turned back around and picked it right back up when they got back out of here. And we